everybody. Welcome to a special show. I don't even have a name for this particular show, which I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? It's not like, Speed Networking with Mike or Marketing Mondays with Ira Bowman or Ira the Third. Nope. You know what? There's something so important that I decided to just freestyle it, which is a little bit out of character for me. But wait until you hear what we got going on here. If you haven't seen it already, and thank you everybody for joining. Keep letting us know where you're coming from. It always helps. Why do I do that? I'm going to give you guys a LinkedIn tip. It helps to feed the algorithm so that more and more people will see that we're live. You engaging with it really helps. So we're thankful. We're thankful that you're here. We're thankful that you're participating. And honestly, this is something that Maggie's Gurls, something I did not know about until like a month ago, but something that caught my attention really fast. And if you know anything about me, you know this. I have a heart to help people, really people. I don't care color, creed, religion, sexuality. Like, I don't give a crap about any of that stuff when it comes to people. I care about people, right? The heart of a person. The only thing really that turns me off, honestly, is hate. I don't like hateful people. I don't like it. So here's the deal. People are dying. Okay. People are dying. A lot of people. Actually, I'm not the world's best mathematician, and reading sometimes statistics gets a little confusing. I read a number and I thought, wow, this says 21.4 people per day are dying. It's not actually what it said. It was an adjusted rate based on 100,000 people per something. I don't know. Utah, your statistics are a little confusing. Anyways, from what I understand, though, 1.8 people per day are committing suicide in this tiny little state called Utah. That's not 1.8 people per month. That's not 1.8 people per year. That's 1.8 people every single day. Almost 2 people per day are committing suicide. And this organization that's being represented today, Maggie's Gurls, our whole mission is to help bring that number down, right? So how they do it, what they're doing, why they do it, we're going to get into all that today. And I hope you'll bear with me. I hope you'll pay attention. This is something that I have no idea where you live, but I promise you, your state, your city, your country has a number like this. So how can we not only help Maggie's Gurls with what they're doing, but maybe we can just make an impact everywhere. This is a guy who knows my heart. Okay. Jobless. Okay. I help people for free, 100%. This goes to my heart. If you're looking for a job, this show is not about that, by the way. So we won't be talking about that a lot. But let me help you out real quick. Free job search assistance is always available. ProjectHelpYouGrow.com. It's my website. I run it. There's no ads. There's no fees. There's no spam. There's none of that stuff. It's just 100% free help. It costs you nothing. If you're an employer or recruiter, you can use it for free too. The whole point of the project is to bring employers together with recruiters and job seekers. So everybody gets together. It's like a bridge. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. I know we're going to get that request because that's why a lot of you follow me here on LinkedIn. Totally understand it. And thank you for asking. Now we've got that out of the way. All right. So what are we doing here, Bob? What are we doing for all of you? Lydia and Elizabeth and Gregory and Ryan is my buddy from Hawaii. All these people that are watching, what are we talking about? We're talking about suicide today. And I know it's a taboo topic, and most of you don't want to talk about it. I understand. It's not necessarily, but look, it's a real thing. You talk about lives matter. I don't care if you're saying it's Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter, and trust me, we're not getting into politics today. If you start that crap, I'm going to kick you out of here, right? We're not talking about that, okay? So leave your R and your D at home. Frankly, leave the ego at home. This is more important than that. This is people dying. I don't know if those are boys or girls, if they're gay or straight, if they're Republican or Democrat. And frankly, I don't care because that's not the issue. The issue is the people are dying. And I can't sit by and do nothing about that. So, Topher, and it's okay, I will let you get into the name later because that's fun. That's fun. I like that, right? But it is pronounced Topher. For anybody watching, you're like, how do you say that guy's name? Topher. That's how you say it. And let me tell you something about Topher. I fell in love with Topher like the minute I met this dude, right? Like Topher has got a heart of gold. So Topher and I are buddies. And don't even ask me about Tina and peanut butter because we'll talk about that
Oh my God. Really?
I know, like already.
Really?
This is who I am, and I joke. I make lots of jokes. It is what I do. You got somebody from PNW. I don't know where that is, and I don't even know who you are at the moment because look, when you see this on LinkedIn, what it means is your default settings are still in place. You want to open those up, go into your settings and change your settings to allow third-party data, basically, so it can share with third parties like Google, so that we can see who you are. That'll help you out. And then we've got Uber coming in. Hello, Uber. Yeah, so we're having this conversation. Bob, if you haven't noticed, Bob's like a really sharp guy. Okay, and Bob is a good friend of mine, and I did meet with Bob at Cheers in Boston, so we did hit that cliche like all the way.
Are you saying that
He's
Bob's a
giving me a
real
real
guy?
life kiss. Like Bob and I have smooched. It's pretty funny. Anyways, all right. Topher, can you please? Well, I want to set the stage here. What is Maggies Gurls, and how did it? What was like the origin of it? And I do want to get this term kind of out of there too because it was new to me, and I'm getting used to saying it now. Although I learned today that you got to spell it all caps.
Yes.
So quilt bag, all caps, is a if you're look. I'm married. I'm a homosexual, not homosexual. I'm a heterosexual. I'm a heterosexual man. I've been married for 8 years or 20 years. I've got 8 kids. So I don't fit in the LGBTQ plus, and now I know there's more letters than that. That's why the quillback thing, right? But I didn't know that expression until you taught me that, and I appreciate that because it's easier to say. It keeps straight, and you know, like when I'm talking to my African American friends or my black friends or whatever, like I don't always know what to say because obviously I'm a white dude. You know what I mean? So what could I say to a black person without offending them? And frankly, I think that they are comfortable with either. Most people, and some people, even people of color. Although I feel weird saying that one. I don't want to say that one. That one feels weird to me. And there's obviously words that you shouldn't say, right? Like they're derogatory. So part of this today, I think we can also educate folks a little bit on, being what we call an ally. I think is the right way to say it. Yeah. My brother is gay. My cousins are gay. It is what it is. There's no judgment here, but I'm not here because of sexuality. I'm here because of the suicide. So, anyways, if you could just kind of explain Maggies Gurls, like from a 30,000 foot view, and then we'll bring in Tina and Shannon, and we'll talk more about how they got involved, and we'll see where the conversation goes. And if you're watching the audience, by all means, if you have any questions at any time, don't hold on to them. Ask them. We'll get them up. We'll address them. And this is going to be a freestyle 60-minute conversation. And just spoiler alert, we're going to bring back more. We're going to have another show. We're going to bring back a lot more of Maggies Gurls people. And some of them are even going to be decked out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to do that later. But this one right here is just a by way of introduction. Who is Maggies Gurls, and what gave you the idea to get started?
Yeah, this is great. Thanks, Ira, for having us on and letting us talk to your viewers and being a part of this. This is really quite amazing and super excited about all of this. And Maggies Gurls is very close to my heart. And I do get emotional about it because it does come from an emotional part of my life that where it all came from. And so we go back into the year 2018 in the summer, and that's when I had my own personal, suicide. I had attempted to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's wow. I hadn't thought about it for a while. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you through that again.
No.
Okay.
But
you have some personal experience with this topic.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of temptation.
Yeah, I've actually attempting to do it. And so I spent 11 days in the hospital out here in Salt Lake City called Uni, which is a mental health division of the University of Utah Hospital. And that's where I had a lot of this come clear to me as I really needed to get something done. when I was there, there was kids as young as 9 and as old as 60 that had attempted or were planning to attempt suicide. And there was about 40 of us in this hospital. So it was quite regularly that people were coming in and going out at the same time.
This is it's a medical facility to help treat people so that they don't want to harm themselves. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's correct. And so they work through psychiatrists, psychologists, regular doctors, MDs, to provide critical care for those who are in a very bad situation.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you're there, you see it firsthand, you see the need for doing something to help, because I know that's your heart too.
Yeah.
So it just came to you? Like, did you talk to somebody, or how did you come up with Maggie's Girls? Like, obviously it's a different name. It doesn't say suicide prevention or whatever. You have to read kind of between the lines to get to there. So tell us, how did that name come about, and how did you develop the organization? Where did the idea for the organization itself come from?
So that's a great question. So I got through my 11 days, and about 2.5 months later, after it was May 18th, 2018, about 2.5 months later, I was watching Steel Magnolia, the movie.
Oh, that's right. You told me this. Yeah. And I've got the website up now just so everybody can see it. If you guys haven't seen it, and I put this in the notes, I would appreciate it if you all would just go check this website out. It's right there in the link for you. It's maggiesgurls.org, not .com. It's a nonprofit. So there's that. Please check that out. There's a lot of information, and it can be a resource. Just a quick FYI, it could be a resource for people if you know somebody struggling. You might just want to send it to them. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
So I was watching Steel Magnolias, and all of a sudden, this thought came into my mind of, you need to do something, and how are you going to do it? And in there, one of the characters dies. And then from that standpoint, it was something that could have been stopped from her passing on. And I really believe that there is a greater version of suicide that we need to help people understand that it is not something that they need to do. Yeah. Steel Magnolias. And so
I'm a bit of a dork. I do this stuff while people talk.
I love it. No. This is great. Because the movie is amazing. And Shelby, who's one of the main characters, is the one. Hopefully I'm not blowing it for everybody, but for our story.
Out in 1989. If they haven't seen that, then anyways. And by the way, there are people out there who are laughing right now because I said I'm a little bit of a dork, and they know me better than that. They're like, no, you're full-fledged dork, bro.
It's all good, because I'm in the same boat. I would have done the same thing. And so watching it really brought me to my awareness again of that I had tried to attempt to die by suicide. And so then all of a sudden, Magnolia Steele came out of it, because my last name is Steele. And so by the end of the movie, here I am. I just started to create a brand new nonprofit that had never been existing before, called Maggies Gurls, with its leader named Magnolia Steele. And it was one.
Yeah, it's tough. I get it. I'm sorry.
No. It's one of the best things that's ever come about in my life.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful that you're here and we're talking about this. Obviously I didn't realize this part of it, so I didn't plan like cute little breakaways, but we'll get through it. Look, suicide is one of those things. I wish we would talk about it more as a society. I'm going to do everything I can to be a champion for it. We'll get into more about what I'm going to be doing to help later, but let's do this. Let's give you just a little bit of a break, Topher, so that you can recompose. And but I want people to see this is it's raw. And one thing that I think most people don't think about, I don't know if you've ever had a friend, a family member commit suicide, or you know somebody who's committed suicide. I have lived that through a classmate. So that thing that you said when they were 9 years old, my classmate was 11 years old at the time they committed suicide, and they did commit suicide from Nephi, Utah. Okay, so
No.
it is amazing. Even the little towns of 3,000 people can be touched by this. This is not something that is predicated based on your social economical status or anything else. And it can touch all of us, right? And it's a personal thing because the people left behind have to suffer. It doesn't, it looks at as a resolution perhaps in the moment to resolve your particular pain, and that's what people are trying to do is stop pain for the most part. Um, but it causes more pain too, and it's a shame. And there's a song, "Don't Send Me Roses," because in the idea, the song is, "Don't send me roses at my grave. Treat me like a human being while I'm still alive. Let me feel that love while I'm still alive." And that's what we're trying to do here. Okay. So, Tina, let's go to you. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to get rid of this banner just because I can't even see your name on here, which is weird. So let me just pull that off. All right. So it's Tina Jones. Okay. So anyone knows, because Shannon could be a girl's name too. They're be like, well, which one is Tina and which one is Shannon, right? How do you know? Shannon's got a thicker beard than Tina. There we go. All right. So Shannon, we'll get to you in a second, brother. Tina, can you tell us what brought you into Maggie's Girls? How did you find out about it? What led you to join? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are also an ally and not a member of the Quiltback community. So,
Correct. I'm an ally. Um, well, I've known Topher for 7 years now. So I'm from Oregon and I moved to Utah, and I really wanted to avoid the religious community because so I got involved with the gay chamber, is what the name of it was called back then. So it's a LGBTQ plus chamber in Utah because they were good people and they could drink and swear, and I felt at home and I felt comfortable. So in
it wasn't because, let's just get this straight. It wasn't because they were drinking and swearing this or as much as they weren't trying to convert her into
right, they
some.
weren't trying to convert me. They weren't trying to stuff their religion down my throat. And so, yeah, that's the total truth. But through all of that, I met Christopher Topher, and we got to be friends. So this spring, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a thing, and I have hosted events here in Utah for the alternative spiritual community." And anyways, he said, "Hey, you want to help me with events?" And I said, "Yeah." So that was how I got involved.
Now, I guess I should have said this before, and I did put it in the show description, but we've got Topher is the CEO founder of Maggie's Girls. Then you've got Tina and Shannon are both, I guess, your co-events chairs of the.
Yeah. So Shannon helps me out. Like we end up having different roles. I've partly ended up playing executive assistant role too. So
Yeah, no,
I kind of wear a lot of hats.
You do a lot, and you eat a mean spoon of peanut butter too. Um,
Oh my God.
it's never gonna go away.
No, it's not.
Anyways,
So, and personally, I'm a life coach, and specifically, I'm a emotional wellness and mindfulness coach.
that's awesome.
So,
And
some of the events that I will be doing will be focused on mental health and emotional wellness.
okay, cool. Well, it is good to meet you. Like, I already know you, but it's good to introduce you, I should say, to everybody. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Elizabeth Jeffrey, thank you so much
Yeah.
for this. Right, I love that part. Amen. I agree with it. Not to make Tina uncomfortable, but I said an amen. Anyways, but this part too, for sharing this even further, because I think we think of suicide as an adult issue, and it's not. In fact, in Utah, because I was doing some statistical research today, the number one group of for suicide in Utah is 12 to 17. Okay, So don't ignore your kids, y'all. If you have kids, you need to be checking in on them. Frankly, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm a father of 8. We need to have other people checking in on the kids too, because the kids aren't always going to be straight up with the parents, whether that be about their sexuality or their drug use or anything else. Right? You need to make sure your kids are in a good spot mentally. Okay, and then hearing starts like this. Yeah. That's look. What nobody wants is to feel like they're the only one suffering. And sometimes just knowing other people have experienced, whether it be sexual abuse or whatever it is, like, frankly, I've talked about this pretty openly. That happened to me as a child. I think it happened to every one of my siblings, honestly. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So what can drive you to this can be different things. But if you're not checking in on your kids, they're going to be suffering and you don't even know it. And then the next thing you know, they're a statistic and you're heartbroken thinking, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And we would rather not have that. The last but not least, my furry friend, he's got a bigger beard than me. So God bless him. And like I'm bald, so I have hair on my head. It's just on the bottom. He's got no look. Anyways. And Shannon, you're gonna come next time all decked out, right?
So that's actually Topher. He's the drag queen.
All right, well, it's not gonna come all. I thought you were. So I was going to be excited to see how you incorporated that. But anyways, okay. Shannon, give us an intro, brother. Let us know a little bit about you and how you got involved in Maggies Gurls.
Yeah, so I am on the board of the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce for Utah. And that's how I met Christopher Topher. And so we got to talking one.
You let it out of the quilt bag. I was gonna come to Topher as part of Christopher. Anyways, we'll just let that out.
Oh, sorry. But that's how I met Topher, and we got to talking about what he was doing. Actually, he came to a chamber meeting and then told us about what he was doing, and I was like, oh well, I want to get involved, help my community a little bit. And it was kind of during COVID when we were all at home doing nothing or sick. So I was like, well, I'm tired of doing nothing, so I should go do something about a big problem. So I joined in with these guys, and and we're planning our big coming out gala May 21st. So we're very excited about that.
I gotta miss that, I think. But
you can't miss that. We have a live band and a band of drag queens.
There's this thing in Hawaii happening, so I have work that I have to do. But if that changes, then I will be there for sure. But anyways, okay, we'll talk more about that. And you guys watch social media because we'll be posting about that in a variety of ways, and trying to reach not only new corporate sponsors. We would love to have, if you're watching this and you run a business and you want to throw some money. This is a nonprofit, so the 501(c) paperwork, I think, is almost done. Is that right, Topher? I know that's where we were last time we talked. So that by the time you want to make your donations, we'll have that all squared away. Okay. Yes. So looking for the tax write-off, if that's like a part of, you feel this way before. I was like, we got a really long comment. I'm always scared to do this because I don't know what it's going to say, and I don't want to let some of that propaganda. There we go. Yeah, looks like a great message. But anyways, read it. It's really long, so I got to take it off because this is too much. Yeah, so. Wait,
quilt bag.
Okay. So quilt bag, I'm actually prepared for this, okay? Quilt bag, because I wanted to look it up too. Oh, I got rid of it. Hang on a second. It's an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where I learned that you're supposed to capitalize the whole thing. And I think I pulled it out of, yep, I did. Here it is. It's the Urban Dictionary. That's where I had it. And I'm just going to share it right now on the screen so everybody can see it. All right, quilt bag. So instead of saying the LGBTQ Q2IA, because that for a guy with dyslexia is really confusing. Here's what quilt bag stands for: queer and questioning, unidentified, intersex, lesbian, transgender, transsexual, bisexual, asexual, gay, gender queer. And this is how you would use it in a sentence. And so, anyways, you just use the whole capitalized quilt bag. And that is not an insult by any standard. It's a thing. Oh, we lost Shannon. I don't know if his computer connection died or what happened there, but he's coming back. Okay, he's coming back. He's just having connection issues. It happens. All right, sorry we lost you there for a second, Shannon. Okay, so you can use quilt bag, and you probably should use quilt bag, or you could say ally. That's the other way you could just say it, right? And again, if you see people the way I see people, it doesn't really matter. I frankly don't care who you sleep with. The only person I want to sleep with is my wife. So, like, I mean, that's it, right? For me. So, quilt bag is another way of expressing the LGBTQ in a correct way, and you're not forgetting somebody. You're not just being dismissive or insensitive or anything like that. So, okay. Thank you for sharing your sister's story. She's now 28. So I'm really happy that you said that, because I wasn't sure from everything you shared that she made it. So she is a survivor. Now I will say this, and Tina, you can echo this for sure, right? When you struggle with something like suicide, it's not one of those things that you're ever really cured from. It's a temptation that you need to be conscious of it and talk to people therapeutically, and then I think everybody has, and I'm just going to say this. I don't know. We've never talked about this as a group, so you can put your input in here too. But for me, like a lot of people struggle with addiction or are prone to a certain type of addiction. Could be pornography. That's something that I've struggled with in my life. Could be some type of drug or alcohol or cigarettes or, I mean, harming yourself. It could be any one of these things, and it could be multiple things. But I think once you know that you're susceptible to that, then you got to kind of build some insulation, some defense mechanisms, some support systems, put them in place so that you don't succumb to those. And this is, to me, one of those things. So, again, we haven't talked about that, but Tina, as a life coach, maybe you want to take the
Absolutely. That's what I help people with. So I've personally, I've struggled with depression most all of my life. No suicide ideation, but someone who is struggling with mental health issues of any kind, they need tools and tips to help themselves in the moment when they need it, when they can't get a hold of their friend or they can't get a hold of their therapist, because those moments happen when big emotions happen. You never know when that's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning when no one's around. So that's what I do, is teach people tools that work for that individual person, because everybody's different, and different people, depending on who they are and how their brain works, everybody needs different tools.
Yeah. Well, just like some people are visual learners, audio learners. Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by, hearing it. So our brains don't all work the same.
No, they don't. And then they don't work the same. And then people in the US in particular often forget about the wisdom that their own body has to help themselves move and process emotions through. Because when you stuff and numb and avoid hard emotions, like you were just saying, Ira, you were just saying that you have had a struggle with, pornography addiction, or other people have food addictions or alcohol addictions or whatever, that where we often use those things to numb out to emotions that are too big, too scary, and we're afraid of them. So we numb them out and pretend like they don't exist and they'll go away. But that's like trying to keep a beach ball underwater, and before long the beach ball pops up and hits you in the face or bounces out and hits your neighbor. It's just the way life is.
Yeah.
But I teach clients to use, it's called somatic processing. It's body processing. So it's feeling the sensations in your body and instead of ignoring them, but giving them your attention, but your full non-judgmental attention and awareness to that sensation, and you allow it to move through you instead of getting stuck.
No, it's okay. I'm muting Shannon's mic because he's typing, and I want to make sure people are hearing what you're saying. No, it's important. These tools, and even Elizabeth just said it, right? They're so important. I think the problem with the kids, the main problem with the kids, is they haven't really lived yet. But one of the things they haven't learned or developed is these tools on how to process, it's emotion without maturity. And so I hate to use the word irrational here, but I mean, that's kind of where it gets to. It gets like all you can focus is on is this pain or feeling, whatever it is. I didn't grow up in a traditional home where, one mom, one dad, a lot of security. Like I grew up a byproduct of divorce. In fact, multiple divorces, if we're being completely honest, right? So I didn't have that from an early age, but I kind of had to grow up fast. But one thing I didn't get until I was older in life was a good toolbox. So I'm glad that you're on here. I didn't even know that about you, Tina.
You didn't what?
I didn't know that you were a wellness coach.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we can do for our kids. That's one of the things that we can provide to our community. If you're looking for ways to help, is access to therapists and coaches and support systems, which is what Maggie's Gurls is trying to do a little bit of all of that. So can you talk about, Shannon, because I want to get you involved in the conversation a little bit too. Can you talk about the different programs that are available via Maggie's Gurls and what the work part of it, right? So the fundraising and raising awareness is what we're doing here, but what's the actual processes in place so far? And maybe Dan Topher, if you want to set the vision for what's coming down the pipe, because I know that obviously this is still a relatively new organization, so there might be future things. So if you want to cast a vision, but Shannon will give you a pop quiz and let everybody kind of know what's available right now to people. Like if they're in Utah and they're in Salt Lake City specifically, and they're thinking about suicide, what can Maggie's Gurls do to help right now?
So we have a number of different tools on our website that you can check out for anyone that you know or yourself, if you need some help mentally, all that. And right now I know that we're working with some local words on a Friday, local developers to create safe houses, safe spaces for like youth and other people that are, because suicide is higher in LGBTQ plus community. Sometimes people get kicked out of their homes, or there's just no place for them to go. So sometimes people feel like there's no other alternative. So we are trying to give people a different avenue instead of suicide. So Maggie's Gurls is I've only been a part of this lovely group for about 3 months, actually. So, and then Maggie's Gurls has been around almost a year.
6 months.
Yeah. Officially 6 months. So we are actually in the process of putting all of our programs together and things like that.
Yeah.
I might have Topher talk a little bit more about some of the exciting things that we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And on the website right now, I'm looking at the MGH page. So if you guys are over on the website, you might want to, I'll click it back here. I can pull it up. I really like this idea because I'm going to tell you that, being homeless, one of the hardest things to do is to get a good meal. So this one appeals to me a lot. So if you guys are looking for donations and ways to get involved, this is one of the things that you can do. $100 bill, basically $110 worth of stuff here. But if you donate it, this is what they get. They get a kit, right? Some kitchen basics. And it has all the stuff in there that is included. And then you've got the $250 package, which has more, uh, well, just more stuff, but basically you're helping people in need. But we haven't got to this part of it yet, but we're going to. This is where the quilt bag basically comes in. We talked about it a little bit with Tina's story about our motivation getting away from the religious part of it. But in Utah, more than maybe most states, there's a huge religious element or component to the state. And when somebody would come out of the closet, as it were, and I'm just going to say it that way, and you guys can correct me if that's not the right way to say it, but that's the way that I noticed it. But when they come out with their sexuality in a home in Utah, and frankly, it doesn't have to be Utah. I mean, I don't want to pick on just on one particular group, but it can be devastating. Like it can be one of those things where your family disowns you. Okay, and I know there's other cultures out there that basically do the same thing. But so you have a kid, maybe they're teen, whether they're 17 or 19 or 18 or whatever they are, they're young. Okay, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of any of you teens that are watching out there, but you still haven't even lived yet. Dang. Okay.
And I want to
But now you
say,
find
just real quick, like growing up in a very religious background myself, I think
Yeah.
for you as well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being yourself isn't quite an option. So sometimes when you stifle who you are for a very long time, you know, there's severe mental consequences that happens because of that.
100%. 100%. So this is the opposite side of what I'm talking about right now, but it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
it's both sides of the coin. You got the kid that's brave who comes out, and then the family doesn't handle it correctly, right? And they kick him out. And now you've got somebody who basically is homeless, or maybe they're living, in some bad place, but they've got a roof over there. But anyways, it's not a pretty situation. I'm telling you, this happened to me kind of. Not because I was gay, not because I was quilt bag, right? But I was homeless as a child, and we didn't always have something to eat, and we didn't certainly have a kitchen with nice stuff in it. And even when we had a roof over our head, we still had empty cupboards. So this kind of package can make a huge difference in the quality of life of somebody who's basically been ostracized from their family potentially. Okay. I'm sorry for the view there, Shannon. I didn't even cover up your face there with the comment. But if you're looking for a way to participate, this is one of the things that you can do right away. And you don't have to wonder how your money's being used. You know exactly how it's being used. Okay. So if you're interested, that's something. But to Shannon's point, this is why a lot of kids choose not to come out, because they know. They don't think, they don't wonder, they know how their family would respond, and it wouldn't be positive. So they're forced to live a lie, which then causes all kinds of mental hangups and insecurities and pain. Shannon, I got you on twice somehow.
I think he keeps
I'm
losing
sorry,
there.
I don't know what's going on with my connection.
Woo, am I seeing double?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you froze, so I'm like, well, who's coming on? Because I didn't know that anyone else had the link. A lot of times I'll do shows with my friend Mike O'Connor, and we have like a link that people can just jump on stage. So I'm used to that, but that one freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. Anyways, okay. So back to what I was saying. To Shannon's point, and it sounded like, Shannon, this is what happened to you, right? So you're living a double life, and that causes mental hangups. So you have the people, unfortunately, that come out and their family doesn't handle it correctly, and you have the people that are afraid to come out and they never come out and they suffer consequences for that too. I'm thankful that my brother did come out of the closet to us. He revealed his sexuality. It was an interesting story, which I might get into some other time. But when he told me he was still in high school, okay, so he didn't, like, he's pretty much always known he was gay. I didn't, never thought about it. Never entered my mind. And this was my roommate for a large part of my childhood, not for all of it, but about half of it. He was my roommate. So, I could tell you from my side, they don't, even if you think, oh man, they have to know. It was so never on my mind. I'll tell you this story now. My brother and I were driving from the Bay Area to Las Vegas, Nevada, and I had made that trip 100 times. I knew that trip so inside and out. Like I didn't need a map. I didn't think about it. It just was like autopilot to Vegas. Well, my brother told me this, that he actually told me that he was bisexual, not that he was just gay. But we were having this conversation, and we ended up in LA, not in Vegas, because I didn't take the turn over the 152 to go over to, 58 to get to 15. Anyways, you can follow that. Good for you. You're a crazy driver like me. All right. Well, anyhow, like we laugh about it to this day. This was, 25 years ago, 25 plus years ago now. But it was shocking to me. And it wasn't like we didn't have an angry conversation. There was none of that, like, I can't believe you're disgusting. None of that stuff, right? Which I'm thankful that my mind was evolved enough that, it wasn't, because it was obviously 25 years ago, it was a different generation. And the way the world saw being homosexual or bisexual or any of that stuff was frankly not as evolved. I don't know if that's again the right way to say it, but there has been progress I think made, which is good. Hopefully we'll continue to make more, because we're by by no means am I saying we as a society we're as accepting as we should be, right? Again,
it's getting better.
I think the healthy way to think about this is this: I actually don't care about your sexuality. Right? It's none of my business. And I would love it if we can get to a place where that is actually the common position on all of this.
We should just see people as humans. And when we view them as humans and we all have the same needs, the same desires, or similar, and when you connect with somebody human to human and see their humanity, then you don't have to see all the other ways that you're different. I don't like the us versus them mentality, or the I'm right, you're wrong mentality. I'm all about inclusion and seeing people as humans and allowing each person to have their own whatever they want.
Well, this is where I will say that maybe I defer from some people watching the show and maybe not. But my thought is this: laws are still important. So as long as it's legal, you're not breaking the laws, you're not harming another individual, in other words, because I think the law should be set up to protect us. If they're not, they need to be changed. But as long as no laws are being broken, no one's being harmed, it really is none of my business. What you do behind closed doors, whether you do it with yourself or with another human or 3 other humans or however many humans you want to do it with, that's, again, none of my damn business. That's not my business. I really don't even want to know, frankly. Because again, I try to separate sexuality out of my life so that I don't even think about people as in sexual terms. Like I said, for me, I'm monogamous, so it's my wife or nothing for me. That's the way I want to be, right? But that's my choice. That's her choice. Again, that's not judgment, and I think that's part of where we're at in society too. Like people want to, there's this whole judgment thing that I think needs to go away. It's more It would be more healthy. Right now, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just Ira. I'm just Ira from the block. But that's where I think would be a better place to be. And I know society's not there yet. I get it, right? But for me, I do want to just make sure that the distinguisher for me, I think, is the legal part. Some people don't care about that part, and I do, because I think, again, if those laws are not fair or correct, then they can be adjusted, and it should be. And that's the next part maybe to look at. But once we're past that part of clarification, for me, people are people. Your sexual stuff is your sexual stuff. And if you want to talk about it with me, great. And hopefully we get to a place where we can tease each other a little bit. Like I teased Shannon about his beard. It's all good. I said it's jealousy, Shannon.
Nice. And then just since you brought the legal part, I mean, Utah, it's only been legal for same-sex marriage since 2013, I believe. So that's not very long, but it's great progress. And,
yeah, it is progress, and it's not even just that. I mean, I was watching, like when you watch a reel or something on Instagram, and then it just wants to go to the next one. Like you get in this diatribe of, I don't know how I got here, but here I am. There was
Yes.
a reel that came up. I mean, it's no joke. It came up. It's weird sexual laws in the United States that are still
On the books.
right. And like from the position you're in to the time of day you're in to walking down the street holding hands, there's some antiquated stuff that are still on the books. It is kind of funny.
Yeah, and we did our first event, which was a trunk or treat. That's how they do things in Utah. And I posted a little on social media. I posted a teaser question in a networking group on Facebook, and the teaser question was, "What's the oh God? Can you remember what it was, Topher? What now I'm like fully on into the story, and now I'm gonna leave you at a cliffhanger. No, I'll get it. It
Well,
was
you're thinking, I just want the world to recognize my friend Kenny D, because Kenny D from Sugarland, Texas is one of the coolest mofos you will ever meet anywhere. I love this dude to pieces. If I ever go to Sugarland, Texas, I'm going to be buying this guy dinner and giving him the world's biggest bear hug that a 5'8", 200-pound man can give. That's what I'm going to do. Kenny,
nice.
be prepared. This guy is cool as can be. He got locked out of his LinkedIn account, and he was kind of telling me a story, which sucks. Somebody out there is a major jerk. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyways, he reached out to me, goes, Ira, I need to reconnect with you. I'm like, dang it, I'm at 30K. I just hang on. I will make a spot for you. So anyways, I reconnected with him. But I was confused when I got the second connection request, because I'm like, wait a minute, we're already connected. Why do I need to connect again? But he got locked out of his account. And again, it was somebody being a jerk. If you're not connected to Kenny D, take my word for it. Connect. You will love it. This guy, he's the opposite of jerk, and he makes my day better. Just whenever I see him in a comment of any of my posts, I'm like, this is gonna be a good day because I get to talk to my buddy Kenny. So there you go. We all need friends like that, don't we?
Yes. Yes, more so than not, especially right now, because mental health is so high and people are looking for psychologists and psychiatric doctors, and they're just reaching out because they just need that little bit of help. And that's where we're coming from.
Human connection, human kindness, to know that somebody gives a crap about you, and somebody's like, honestly, like Topher, I think you already know, you could call me anytime, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that about you.
Yeah.
Already. Like we bond. Like I'm telling y'all, we bonded. Like I felt like he was my new best buddy. So, anyways, we all need friends like that. We need connections like that. We need human. We need to feel like we're not a piece of crap. Can I just say it like that? I think I did. So I don't know if I can or not, but there you go. We all need it. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care like how cool you think you are. You need somebody to look you in the face and tell you they love you and you're okay in your own skin, however you are. Right? We all have things that we want to get better on, and I think we all should try to be better every day. I'm not saying that be complacent or apathetic or any of that stuff, but I'm saying also that my love and affection for you doesn't require you to be perfect.
Hey, Ira.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because I don't fit into that.
I'm far from perfect. But I think everybody needs to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, and you need to internalize it and process it. And we all need it. We all need it.
We often all struggle with the same things. We all still have a crazy inner critic that we have to deal with.
Well, the beautiful thing about this is that I want everybody to know that they are loved, not only by me, but by the people that are in Maggies Gurls. Each person that's on the board has their own personal experience with people dying from suicide. And I know that each board member is dedicated to their own positions, and they just want people to be people. And we love you. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you do. You matter to us a lot.
So Tina was talking about it, and then Elizabeth was commenting on it, and I just thought, yep, team human.
Team human.
It isn't
absolutely.
It isn't team bald, although we are beautiful. for the races, right? It isn't white, it isn't black, it isn't gay, it isn't straight, it isn't like all these factions that people want to try to divide us over.
Right.
The fact is, we all bleed red. We're all human beings. We all have insecurities and doubts. And
oh, Kenny D, he just says, "Ira, you're talking too much."
I do that.
And Topher needs to butt in. That's funny.
Say this before I relinquish the microphone here and let other people talk. Not only do we have struggles and issues, problems that we need to, that things that hamper us, we also have things that are great about us. We have strengths and we have things that we add that nobody else adds. And we can celebrate that too. Instead of like seeing this as a competition, we can really see this as a collaboration. And I love being a part of Maggies Gurls, which we haven't really talked about yet, but I love being a part of it now because I get to add my talents to the organization, and we all get to benefit from that. Everybody.
We're going to do this again too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so Tina's laughing because Kenny D told Ira to shut up, and it's not the first time he told him to shut up. And he means it. But if you want to jump on Kenny D, he doesn't mean it the way maybe you think he means it.
So you asked a question a while back, Ira, about what are the programs that we've put in place, and we're still figuring that out because we're a pretty young nonprofit. Yeah. So we are listed as a 501c3 in the state of Utah.
Yes.
We are, so that's finalized. What the next step is, we're working on a national 501c3. Yeah. So we are a recognized 501c3 in Utah and can still take your donations, which there is a donation link right there on that website.
Yes.
Let's go to that next. And I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't going to let us get out of here without seeing it.
Yeah. So, and we are going to be focusing on mental health. And since Topher is a drag queen, we have some fun events featuring drag queens. And our launch party is May 21st here in Utah. And you can purchase the tickets on Eventbrite. If you just go to Eventbrite and type in Maggies Gurls, you'll find it. But it's going to be a kick-ass party. Can I say that here? Because I just did. And we have a live band of 12 band members, and they're all going to be dressed in drag. And I think, Topher, Ira, you were confused.
Marlo Suzanne, the Galaxy Band.
Yeah, it's the, yes. Thanks, Shannon, for interjecting. What's her name again?
For the
Marlo Suzanne and the Galaxy Band.
Marlo Suzanne and the Galaxy Band. So we're going to have food catered. We're going to have booze. We have a silent auction. So we are accepting donations for the silent auction. And we also need sponsors. We have some sponsor spots available, which we have a couple different programs of what we'll do for you in exchange for your sponsorship. But that will be our coming out launch party. So.
Yes.
Okay. And tell everybody again, when is it?
May 21st.
In Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's here in Salt Lake City, Utah at a location. It's called the Clubhouse. It's a really cool location. But the band is going to be super fun. They play 70s and 80s music and dressed in drag.
We're going to start putting up information about this right away. In case you guys missed it, I kind of hinted to it. I have joined Maggies Gurls team, and I'm going to be adding my marketing, whatever this is, to the mix, and we're gonna start promoting it. I am passionate about the mission of this group. I just don't know how anybody could look. I understand not all of you are quilt bag. Okay, I'm not either technically. I'm what they consider ally, and frankly, I don't know why any of us even need that distinction so much as I'm pro human being and I'm not jerk off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think if you're not pro human being, then that qualifies you as jerk off. You really got to be one or the other. Okay. So you can decide, do you care about people or not?
Yeah.
The mission,
and I want to bring up, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Shannon, for sure.
I was just going to say that we're partnering up with some other lovely, incredible organizations here in Salt Lake too. Colors of
Yes.
Cancer, which is a part of the American Cancer Society. Also with the Chamber and their foundation, which is Safe Zone. We're working with them. Equality Utah is an incredible organization that we're going to try to work with as well and create just like a big, beautiful, encompassing, conglomerate of beautiful things happening for people.
Cool.
So we had this, I love this spirit of people, right? If there's any way that I can help, it would be honored. There's a few things that you can do for us, Elizabeth, without even spending any money, okay? You can take these links that we are sharing here in the comments and you could make posts about them. So there's that. If you know any business owners, look, I made a post on Facebook earlier today and I'm dead serious. My taxes are being done right now and I need my magician, my accountant needs to be a magician so that I can reduce my tax burden. But this is one of the ways that legally you can either pay taxes or you can make donations.
Mhm.
So if you know business owners, let them know, like, hey, especially with your sister's story, Elizabeth. I mean, I'm sure that this touches your heart. So this is something to prevent other people's brothers and sisters from having to deal with this, mothers and dads, whatever, or also to prevent what happened to Shannon, maybe, right? And again, we didn't get too deep into Shannon's story, but I was able to pick up the broad strokes here that he did infer that there's mental anguish that happens from a child who grows up and feels they cannot be authentically themselves because they're afraid that they're going to be ostracized, or worse, they could be physically harmed. Again, you don't assume the child's safety in a hostile environment. So there's a lot of things that could happen that you can make an impact for. And yeah, not all the programs are etched in stone yet, which is why, Topher, I would love if you have some that are not in place yet, but some things where you would like this to go, that you could cast a vision.
Yeah.
Go and say, hey, this is things that we would like to do, or maybe we're working on and it's not enabled yet. But if you could share some of that, that would be cool, because maybe we can get some funding to bring some of these to light too. That would be cool.
Yeah, thanks. We are definitely working in the donations. One of the projects that we're working on is called Maggie's House. It's a $3.4 million project where we are working with a commercial real estate developer who is creating 10 separate townhomes, and they will be used for those LGBTQ or quilt bag, gay community, straight community, someplace where they can go to have a safe place to be. March 9th is really critical for us, as we are going to be having a meeting with the part of the board of directors for the Huntsman Mental Health Unit out here, which is absolutely astonishing. We're just so grateful for that. One of the other things is our launch party. We need to get funding for this launch party, and it is expensive, and we're pulling all of our own private funds together to do this, and we really need our community's help in getting this launch party up.
And I want you guys to see one thing that they do already have in place, and I should start saying we, because I'm a part of this now too. Okay, so Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, Stripe, however you want to pay. So what's Stripe? Credit cards. Apple Pay is your iPhone, basically, right? And your PayPal, your Venmo. However you feel comfortable making this donation. What Topher just said, in case you guys missed it, they're trying to build a $3.5 million condo complex, 10 of them, right? So 10 safe space, super expensive, obviously, but not if we get, like, many hands make light work. Same thing here. If each of us could donate $50, $100, it probably wouldn't hurt you. In fact, I'm going to do that as soon as the show's over. I'm going to make a donation myself. Okay. Why? Because you could say all day that you support something, but when you actually put your money behind it, then you really do support it. Okay. Yeah. Again, it's not about one person donating $3.5 million. No one's asking for that, right? $50, $100. You'd be amazed how many people watching the show right now even on LinkedIn, we got 13 people talking about suicide and quilt bag. Not exactly two main topics on LinkedIn on a show I didn't advertise. I didn't put out a single advertisement for this. And none of you, frankly, probably live in Utah, right? So what I'm saying is if each of you could make a little contribution and share these links, I'm going to put the donation link. I did this earlier, but I'm going to do it again. Make a donation. I'm going to put it on all. I'm going to put this on all of the platforms. Okay. So here it is on LinkedIn.
And also know that these donations are helping other people. Like the money goes to, we have an outreach program that we're working on that has 4 other drag performers in a 1959 Cadillac DeVille. And they go around and they utilize social media for Maggies Gurls, and they talk about depression and they talk about suicide ideation and these types of things that are critical to give tools to people so that they can better assess what's going on in their own personal lives. And so
one more time, sorry, it's a 59 Cadillac.
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
Super cool, right?
Yeah.
So they're dressed in drag, they're driving around, and they're talking to people and trying to answer their questions and give them some encouragement. Yeah, okay.
And you can find us on social media too under the same name. We're on Facebook and on YouTube. And the header on Facebook is Magnolia Steele, a cute little picture of Magnolia Steele in pink ruffles. You got to go check it out. And if you left a party, because I noticed in the comments some people were saying, a party, I want to go. So if you want to, you can fly out here to Utah and come to the party. It's on Eventbrite, and hopefully here Ira will post the link.
It's coming up right now. So go to Eventbrite, and I'm going to post this link right now too. But come here and you can buy your ticket and get the information so you can save it in your calendar and you can do all that stuff. I will be posting that as soon as I want to show Shannon's face.
And if you scroll down, there's like you can see some stuff about the band, Marlo, Suzanne, and the Galaxy Band.
You can click on that. Let's open this up in a new tab.
Yeah.
Check the band out. Super cool. So I'm assuming takes us back to Maggies Gurls.
Yeah, that takes back, I think, to the website.
Here's the Facebook page. Here's the Instagram page. Here's the YouTube page. So check this out. There's a pledge form. Super cool. Shannon's being a drama queen.
I don't know what's going on with my devices.
Just wants attention. It's like, hey, can we get? What do you guys have out there in Utah? What's your
terrible service?
Well,
I think it's because of the mountains or whatever. But we all have horrible service.
Yeah, I was having trouble getting internet on my phone. I don't usually use when I go places Wi-Fi. I'm cybersecurity conscious, so I typically stay off Wi-Fi, but I actually had to use Wi-Fi. And the place I was staying in Utah was a little sketchy, Topher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Those guys. It's just funny. I was staying with my brother and his boyfriend David. So, anyways, okay. So I need to share this. Hang on a second. I've shown it, but I didn't share it. If you're looking for the Eventbrite page, find.
I was going to bring up another program that we're interested in. I know Topher was interested in is education. So drag queens going out to schools, preventing bullying, things like that, because the demographic that are committing suicide are youth, which is tragic.
And the second demographic is the next one. So the first demographic was 12 to 17, and the next highest demographic was the 18 to 24, I believe. So really that whole age where you're, I think we call it the age of accountability in some circles, but, that age where you're going from immaturity to maturity. And this is the thing that hurts me so bad. You're talking about that 9-year-old Topher, and I experienced suicide from a friend committing it when I was, young, but I was 11 years old. And I can tell you, coming at this, I'll be 45 in March, so I'm almost 45. Okay, how young and how little life somebody's actually even had a chance to live at 11 or 9 or 12 or 17. It's, to me, how can you not have compassion? How can that not like rip your soul out to think about a child that young ending it all? And
Yeah.
why would a human being of any, I don't care, race, creed, again, no, I don't care about any of the qualifiers where the world is trying to separate us, right? Those are classifications, but you're a human being. I don't care if you were born into anything at 11 years old. There's no reason for an 11-year-old, in my mind, to take their life. We need to reach those kids and let them know that. Because I understand they obviously don't feel that way or they wouldn't be doing it. They are doing it. So I'm not trying to dismiss the problem. I'm just saying we as adults need to do a better job of letting them know that they're loved and cared for, and there is a safe space for them to go to, again, which is why I personally am getting involved in Maggies Gurls, and I'm going to be making my own donation to Maggies Gurls on the Eventbrite page. No, on the
So we
donation.
were talking also about having another show coming up where we're going to have more of the stories from some people. So I know tonight we're kind of focusing on Maggies Gurls and the mission and vision, which if you're on that Eventbrite page and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see our post of mission and vision. We're driven to bring suicide awareness and connect the LGBT with connect with the LGBT plus community. So but
look for that. We originally were, in full disclosure, we were originally going to do that tonight, and then we just kind of got behind the 8 ball, and we said, hey, you know what? Let's go with a smaller production today and just get the mission out there so people know it. But also, I really hope you guys will take us up on this opportunity to meet on May 21st at the gala. I know there's a little bit of cost involved. Obviously, there's some pain to incur. You got a flight, you got a hotel, you got to buy a ticket.
But you get to come to a really cool party.
I'll be in
And
drag.
you get to hang out with us, and you get to meet Magnolia Steele. So who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, let me reinforce this to those of you who are watching me and following me, and I've been encouraging you to get out and network in person. There is just something that happens when you actually are in the same physical spot as other human beings. There's a connection that can be made that you cannot make on video. I'm not saying meeting on video is bad and you shouldn't do it. Of course you should. It's still better than, sitting in isolation.
Yes.
But I will tell you that when you give somebody a hug, there is something that happens that they feel it, you feel it. There's energy transfer, and humans need affection. So don't live your life in isolation. Get out there, network. It's good for your business, whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Oh.
But also, in this particular case, you can support a really, really good cause, right? The group is trying to do something that's incredibly important. I get asked to join a lot of nonprofits. I get asked to champion a lot of causes, and I tell most of them I can't because I'm spread too thin, like the hair on my head, which is why I shave it all off. But in this particular case, we want to be more thick, like Shannon's. Look at all that hair, Shannon. I'm jealous. Anyways, let's do this. Let's go. Let's
Good
do a wrap up.
genetics.
Yeah, let's do a wrap up. Topher, we're gonna start with you. Then we'll go. We're gonna go the way we came in. So we're gonna Topher, Tina, and then Shannon, and then I'll wrap this up. And then stay tuned because we haven't set the date, obviously, for the bigger audience. We're gonna have 10 people if we do this right. We'll have 10 people on stage. So it'll be a lot of fun. Some will be drag. Spoiler alert, I won't be, but some of them will. But they're gonna tell the backstories of their life, and you're going to hear different challenges, different struggles. Hopefully there'll be some champion moments too. It won't be all depressing, but they're going to share some of it so that you have an idea of what people go through, the struggles. And if you're a parent like me, you can be more sensitive maybe to the struggles your kids could be going through and afraid to share with you. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Because like I said, my brother came out to me. I was 17 years old, and I had no clue. I wish I could tell you that I was smart and I knew. No, I had no clue. And you can ask him. He's on LinkedIn too. His name's Tim Bowman. You can reach out to him and talk to him. Anyways, Topher, final thoughts, brother.
So I just want you guys to know that Maggie's Gurls Foundation is amazing. We're having so much fun. There's so much passion from everybody in it. We do this in 1950s drag. I love it. Magnolia Steele comes out in circle skirts and big wigs and bright red lips. And it's all about for you. It's about getting the tools and the right people in the right places to help. If you want to help, please reach out to us, whether you live in another city, another country, it doesn't matter. Like there's always something that can be done to support us. And we kind of, one of the little things that we're going to do in the summer is drag queen roller derby. So get your roller skates, get your Daisy Dukes, and get your big wigs, because it's all about the fun. It's about engaging people in a very important situation that allows others to just reach out, because that's all it is it takes one candle to light a million candles, and it's just that one candle that just needs to show up, and that's you. And that's you. And we miss you. We love you. We want you to be a part of our organization any way we can. You're loved. We can't say enough about that.
100%. And I've got the link to make a donation up on the screen. But if you
Awesome.
can't make a donation, it's not just about money. To Elizabeth's point earlier, we can use help just with likes and shares and engagement. You're making comments on these posts, and that's helping feed the algorithm, and we appreciate that too. Okay. Tina, final thoughts for this show, my friend.
Hard conversations matter.
Mm-hmm.
Hard conversations matter. I know this is not a fun topic, but mental health is a serious thing. And right now, through the past 2 years, it's been hard for everyone. And mental health matters. Talking about mental health and talking about suicide prevention and starting hard conversations with people who you care about instead of hiding and avoiding them, it matters.
Yeah.
I think that's a mic drop right there.
I use that hashtag a lot. And go like the Facebook page if you could.
Yeah, I mean, look, those likes, those follows, those comments, those shares, oh my gosh, they make a huge, huge, huge difference. Okay. Shannon, my friend, my furry, I want to say my furry.
I was just going to say raising awareness is important, because the more we all know about each other, it breaks down barriers. It gets us to understand other people's perspectives, what they're going through, and then it just makes a more empathetic and compassionate world.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Again, that's awesome. I look forward to hearing your backstory on our next show. So y'all stay tuned.
Oh, it's great.
We'll probably end up doing that in about 3 or 4 weeks, just so if you guys want to kind of keep an eye on that. But I will be announcing that show. There'll actually be marketing materials put out and save the date and all that stuff. But just keep in mind, it'll probably be on a Friday night again. It'll probably be in 3 or 4 weeks. All right. The last thing I want to say is that if you haven't yet considered making a donation, please consider making one. Again, $50, $10, it's there. Pick your donation. You want to do $5, $7, $25, $185, whatever your mind can concoct. And maybe there's a special attachment with a number, like maybe the year that you attempted suicide was 1997. Maybe you want to do $19.97. You could do something like that. Whatever you want to do, it all adds up. It goes into a big bucket. So this again, it's maggiesgurl.org. That's the main website. and then you can go to the donate button. If you want to check out the event, you can go to the events page, and here is, actually, I think we might need to update this, but that's okay. So we'll get that. But I've got the Eventbrite. See, there's marketing work that needs to be done. I can help. All right. So go to the Eventbrite page. I have shared this again in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So wherever you're watching us from, you can find it. If you would be so kind, we'd love to have you buy a ticket and plan on joining us in Salt Lake City. Here's another thing that you could do if you can't make it, but you're so inclined. You could buy a ticket and give it to somebody that can come. That also does help. So there's many ways that you can help. Share these posts, talk about it. Do me a favor, if you have kids, make sure that somebody other than you or the other parental unit, give them permission to go talk to your kids. Pull them aside, take them out for a coffee, take them somewhere where they can have a little one-on-one conversation, whether it be a pastor, a counselor, a family friend, somebody that they would feel comfortable having a real conversation, and just ask them how they're doing. Ask them how they're doing. Check up. Because suicide, I'm telling you, a lot of kids, when they do it, their family had no idea because they're oblivious to the whole problem. And that's what Maggies Gurls is trying to help prevent. 1.8 people per day commit suicide in Utah. Utah's a tiny state, guys. It's not geographically, but the number of people, it's like 4 million people. It's not a ton. 2 people a day, that's 657 people in the year 2020 committed suicide in Utah alone. Can we bring that down? That's what we're trying to do. All right. Till next time, my name is Ira. Thank you, Topher. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Shannon. I'm going to put the website back on so people can see it. We're going to rock out to some music. We'll see y'all. We hope to see you in Utah May 21st for the gala. Buy your ticket. Do it now. Make a donation. Tell your friends. Be kind to each other. See y'all later.